All right, so to start this video off, I'm going to insert a video that just goes through kind of an animated version of what you guys have in your notes right here, and then we'll come back and talk through this quickly. So just watch this next video, and then we will look at these down here.
X squared plus 6 times x plus c, a perfect square trinomial. Use one x squared tile to show the x squared. Then use 6 x tiles to show the 6x. Now, try to form the tiles partially into a square. Because squares have equal side lengths, split the x tiles into two groups. Put half on one side of the square and half along the bottom side. Now one side is x plus 3 and the other side is x plus 3. Now you have to find what value of c will fill in this empty space and complete the square. Think about possible values of c. Tiles each have width 1. These tiles also have height 1. That forms a grid of 3 squared, or 9 1 tiles. So the perfect square trinomial is x squared plus 6x plus 9. Written as a binomial, it is x plus 3 squared.
Okay, so what you just saw was a visual representation of completing the square. We had started out with these algebra tiles. This big blue tile is x units by x units, so it's just good to be aware of what we're looking at. That's an x, or looking at, that's an x by an x, which is why the area of that is x squared. Now, this length is x, this length, this width is a 1. So that didn't show up very well when I wrote it in red. So it's a 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And then each of those is x. So 1 by x, this has an area of x. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. So what the video showed is to take this x squared plus these 6 x's, and to create a square, we have to cut these x's in half. So we had 6x. If we cut them in half, we moved 3 of them and just rotated them over here. We need the two sides to be the same. So what we have now is an x and then a 1, 1, 1. That's where the x plus 3 comes from. The width is an x and a 1, 1, 1. That's where that x plus 3 comes in. But we don't have a complete square. So what we did is we completed the square. We had to figure out what we can add in right here in this bottom quarter to create a perfect square. And all of those units are 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So really, we ended up adding in 9 little squares. So this whole area could be represented by, we have an x squared, we have 6 of those green x's, and we added in 9 of those little squares. So this plus 9 is completing the square. This is now factorable. This is a perfect square trinomial. So once you have the full square, each side is an x plus 3. This is an x plus 3. And so we can represent that as an x plus 3 squared. Standard form, factored form. Okay, so now let's actually do this with algebra. What value of c completes the square? So if you notice, we have our x squared plus our 12x, but we have to figure out that plus c. In this case, relating it to what we just did, that's like being given the first two terms and coming up with that 9. So if you look at the picture, I just want to relate back. What we did is we took that 6x right here and we split it. We moved 3 of them down here. So if we take the 12x right here and we split that, I'm going to take the 12, I'm going to divide it by 2, and I get 6. Up here, when we split the 6x in 2 and we got 3, then we had to complete the square by doing 3 times 3. So we take that 6 and then we square it and we get 36. So C is equal to 36. That's the value that completes the square. So what we just came up with, if I were to just plug it back in, x squared plus 12x, I'm going to add in that 36. This is a perfect square trinomial. Are there factors of 36 that add up to 12? Yes, there are, 6 and 6. So this can be written as, in factored form, x plus 6 times another x plus 6, but because it's the same binomial factor twice, we'll just say x plus 6 squared. All right, so let's try another one, and I'll write out some of the steps this time. So what we did is we took our b value and we split it in half. So split b in half. So if we take that 8, we're going to divide it by 2. That gets us 4. Then we square it. So we're going to take that 4 and square it, and we get 16. So the c value that completes the square is 16. What does that look like if we write out that trinomial with the 16? X squared plus 8x plus 16. We just created something that we can factor. What are factors of 16 that add up to 8? 4 and 4, and it's the same factor twice. So that's a binomial factor of x plus 4, and then we just put a squared on it.